All right. Yeah. Let's start about how do you handle inputs
Yes.
with a quick recap.
Uh, yes, I created an object type, a class type for all of the different entities found in this game. Whereas the map units, I create a unit class which inherits the position, which is the point where you will find the unit. And I simply added all the properties found uh, regarding the unit from the inputs list that are interesting. And then I did the same for hero, which has the extra abilities, but I inherited units so that I could use all these parts from a unit, since all the properties of unit applies to a hero too. Now a tower is basically a unit, but it cannot walk, but it's fine that the properties are 0, so we'll keep it like this. And also from wood 2 we got items as input, which we could buy. So I saved the items as a class with all its properties, so that I could query it and see what I got. And I print them at the start of the game to see what difference there are. And you can read through it and see what is good. Like here we got a legendary boots with 2500 HP. That's pretty funny.
All
Now,
right.
now as the I know algorithm, or yeah, what should I call it, of my code, I pick Iron Man and Valkyrie depending on their round types. You could of course try to do a counter pick on the last round. -1 would be the last round before the game starts, meaning you would have a list of enemy heroes which would be 1. This information could be used to counterpick whatever he is picking. And you would need to look at the spells to figure out who would counterpick who. And there's a lot of combination for that. And then during the round, I'm, I'm doing a simple check if my hero is Iron Man. I'll check if there is a target that I actually can target with my fireball by checking the stats of fireball. Let's see. So the fireball has a 900 range. It has I have to check the cooldown since it's the second ability, and I have to check my mana. And if there's any target, I just fireball, actually without thinking about where the target might be the next turn, or if it's actually a good use of fireball right now. That's up to the reader. Same if I in my else I will have the Valkyrie. I'll use the spear flip skill and read the properties of this skill, which has 155 range, mana cost of 20, and that's all I need to know. I don't check if it's actually good use. Now if I can't use any spells, I'll move into handle hero, where I structure all the uh, units found in the game, from towers, units, and I find the best item according to my formula, which would be any item higher with a higher price than 200 and lower price than my actual gold, and I'll order it by the damage times 20 and the health. So if there is any item that I can buy and has more than 200 and fits this, I'll try to buy it if I have less than 3 items. I check with less than 3 items because I want to buy potions if I'm low in health. So this is the other one. I check if there's a potion I can get that is a potion and has health higher than 0. Then I just buy the first one. There's 2 potions, so you might want to check which one you want to buy. Either the XXL potion for 500 health, or the large potion with 100 health. You might not need 500 HP, or you might need 500 HP. Other than that, I'm checking if the enemy tower has a is closer to me than the enemy tower range and my hero's move speed, which would mean that if I do a stupid move, I might be closer to the tower than his attack range. But I also check if there is any units of my own next to the tower, because then the tower would attack these units anyway. And I check if it's more than one, because if it's more than one, it will most likely be 2 turns before it could attack me. But if it's one, it might actually kill the last one before it comes to me. Other than that, I'm trying to kill any enemy or target let me see, the closest enemy, or anyone that's closer than attack range and some move speed, since I could walk before attack. And I only do this if it's the less than 3 units, because if it's more than 2 units, it might not be worth it. But it would be nice to have a damage check here, because if you have a lot of items, you will actually do more damage than the creeps, and will actually be worth it to attack the enemy. Unless, of course, he attacks you at the same time and kills you, something.
You can stack up early game with a lot of cheap items, get a lot of stat boosts, and later on gradually sell them and move on to stronger items.
Yes. Oh, I also check if there is a unit with less health than my attack damage. That means I could get a kill on this unit. It might not be sure because the enemy might try to deny it, but at least I'm trying to.
Also, if you want to simulate enemies, I think it's not worth to go too far ahead in depth because there are too many options. So maybe 2 turns ahead if you try to guess what they're gonna do. Okay, fine. Well, if you want to go 20 turns ahead, you're wasting time.
Yeah, it's a lot that could happen in this game. Also, I'm simply trying to attack any unit if there is by using the move attack, which would first move and then attack, and then I try to stay a little bit behind my own wave by a 50. I could just reduce it a little bit. And if there is any units, and if there's no enemy units, I'll try to move next to uh, my closest unit to the enemy tower, which would mean I'm safe because I'm closer to my own tower. But it also means I'll be closer to the next wave when it spawns. And if none of this occur, which means I don't have any allied units, I'll just run back to my own tower. Yeah, I think that's
Alright,
it.
should be enough.
Yeah, I'll see how I do versus you and die, I guess. Yep.
Should we mention each hero's role again? Well, quick summary. So Hulk is a tank mainly, last out long time, deal a lot of damage. Valkyrie is like more like a disruptor hero, flip the enemy out of position. You jump into any position you want.
And also she has power up
Doctor,
to increase the damage a lot.
right? If you time it correctly, can turn the battle. Doctor Strange is a healer, support. It can assist a melee hero to get an enemy within range and damage it. The Iron Man is straight out a damage dealer. The Fireball deals a lot of damage to enemy heroes. Burning Ground is good for minion waves. Blink is good to get some mana back and avoid attacks. Then we have Deadpool, which is a counter hero. He's good at countering mages, which is Doctor Strange and Iron Man. He's also good at attacking regular damage.
Yeah, he has
If
no
you
skill
aggro,
that scales with his own. He don't scale with his own stats. He scales with the enemy stats.
right, right, his wire hook skill scales with his enemy's maximum mana. So That's why he's good against Doctor Strange and Iron Man. His counter skills scales based on the enemy damage that you inflict on him.
Yes.
So all damage is reflected if he survives.
Stealth is just visibility. You won't be visible this round, so enemies could attack you while you're going invis, but you'll be moving towards a point, and the enemies can't attack you from next round. And then
Right.
afterwards, we'll
With,
move.
with invisibility, you can plan much easier your tactics because the enemy doesn't know what you're doing.
Yep. All right. Let's submit this and see. I guess it's the same, but I lowered the check on the distance, but I think that's enough for now.
Yeah, that should be enough. All right.
So we'll share this code on the GitHub referee for anyone to see.
Yeah. Um,
Thank you for watching the stream, everyone.
Yeah.
thanks. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Goodbye. If there's any question, you could ask us
Goodbye.
in the chat.
Yeah.
Enjoy
Bye.
silver and good luck.
Yeah, and we can talk about the balance updates first, by the way.
Well,
We forgot about
yeah,
the
a
balance.
few small things were changed in balance. I mean, Hulk's charge range was a bit too long. He charges almost the entire height of the map, so we reduced it a bit.
Yeah, let me
So,
see if I got...
and then Valkyrie's jump
Oh, Silver
was
has
also.
is opening.
Silver is opening?
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
awesome.
The Valkyrie's jump has increased cast time to 0.15, which means she can't effectively dodge melee attacks anymore. But she can escape
Wait.
long range. What?
Uh, are you? Is this bot going to silver? You think?
We're going to legend.
If this boss is going to silver, I don't know.
Boss is 304 for now.
My previous submit was 344. But if I increase this to 50 and change to, say, Doctor Strange,
Great. So now people will have just to try to improve this code to get to silver. That's a good thing.
yes, let's just see what the silver boss does easily. So our problem versus this boss is that we're dying. I think we are attacking the enemy heroes too fast. Yes, we try to attack the enemy heroes when we cause the aggro range, which causes all the units to come attack us. So if we increase this counter, I think it should be better. And also we'll remove the Valkyrie code. I can keep it. Let's see. But anyway, let's go through the changes. Let me see, I had some of them here. Now the custom is increased for Valkyrie's jump. Doctor Strange has an increase in mana for his shield. There will be other changes too. And the pull has increased ranged, and the whole charge has reduced ranged. And let me see, there's other changes too. Now the a burning ground of Iron Man has an increased damage on his burning ground. It scales with mana regeneration, but it's times 5 instead of times 3. The shield of Doctor Strange is increased from 0.3 times the max mana towards 0.5 plus 50. This is because he didn't have an escape mechanism, but this will give him a 1 round of extra health where he would remain healthy, at least in the early game, until enemies gets more damage. The Hulk jump reduces the damage of Hulk for half his damage during the jump, meaning he will only hit half as hard. And with a reduced range, it should be harder to sneak in from the top of the map and jump down, since the map is 780 high. You could jump more than half the map. Now it's a little bit less than half, but it's still longer than the longest range on Iron Man, so you can't just hit and run, unless you blink, of course. And yeah, that's the changes. We'll write it on the GitHub, and it will be added to the statement as soon as we get it to compile and run. So I heard there was some bugs earlier, so we'll check into it before we do anything
Yeah.
further.
Right, this doesn't affect any wood bots. No
No,
worries.
this is only bronze and up, and the only, let's say, breaking changes is the Doctor Strange mana usage, because if you checked if it was 20, it would now be 40, and the Hulk charge, which would now effectively be 300 range instead of 500. So that's the only breaking change to the current bots.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. 378 people. Oh, 300 people in silver. Silver.
Yes.
I see 300. Yeah, 300. Yeah.
Yeah, 300.
And I didn't manage to get to silver. Disappointing.
Uh, yeah, I think that's great. So people can improve this code to get to silver.
Yes, you know how structured to use the different spells if you add the different constraints. And you can add your
Yeah,
own logic to whether it's good or not.
you can use Valkyrie jump, power up. You can use the burning of Iron Man, the blink spell. There are still a lot of things you can add to this code to get to silver.
Yes.
All right. I think that uh, we're good.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Hopefully, we managed to confuse you even more.
All right.
All right. Well,
Bye. Any
thank
questions?
Goodbye.
Ask in the chat. Goodbye.